Shares of Teva Pharmaceuticals sinking today after they missed on the top and bottom lines, due in part to slowing sales in North America. The world's largest generic drug maker also announced a $4 billion sustainably linked debt offering. Joining us now in a First on CNBC interview is Teva CEO Cora Schultz, along with our very own Meg Terrell. Meg?
Well, Kelly, thanks so much. And Cora, thanks for being with us today. You know, I want to start with the quarter. The stock is down on that miss, as Kelly mentioned, but you sounded pretty upbeat on the call. And actually, a note from Bernstein that just came out cited what they call an odd gap between your results and your communication, specifically that you still think you can meet your projections for your three biggest drugs. Tell us your response to that reaction.
Yeah, hi, Meg. It's great to be with you again. So my reaction is really that we give very sensible and well thought through guidance. And when we're sticking to our guidance, it's because, of course, we are expecting to meet it. And it's not a big mystery how that happens. It's correct that we did reduce our revenue guidance last time following the second quarter. And we also have a span on the EPS guidance from 250 to 270 per share. And we definitely expect to meet that. I think the reaction today is basically a combination of, you saw Novartis wanting to potentially divest Sandoz yesterday, which gives like a negative spin to the generic space. And then you see us having basically stable earnings and stable revenues, but no major new launches on generics. And that gives more of a negative spin to it than how we really see it, because we do see a quite stable US generic marketplace for our complex generics, for our biosimilars. So we remain confident in the generic space in the U.S.
Speaking of the Novartis news yesterday, what was your reaction to the fact that they're undertaking this strategic review for their generics business and how it could potentially affect Teva?
It's not a big surprise. It's really a copy of what Pfizer did with their Upjohn business. You have some old products, you have some maybe slightly dying products, and then you want to get them off your business so that you will show more growth in your specialty business. I think that's what happened with Pfizer and Upjohn. And I think that's the thinking, I'm guessing, of course, I don't know, but that's probably the thinking at Novartis, that if they get rid of Sandoz, then they'll have better key numbers, better ratios, better growth numbers. I think that's really what's driving it.
Now, I want to ask about you as well. You know, you came into this role about 4 years ago. You were talking about on the call, the real focus was paying off debt, really righting the ship there. It's been a tough road. You know, Bernstein also points out you've got a 5-year contract, and there's going to be a lot of questions about whether you're sticking around or what the succession plan is going to be. What can you tell us?
Well, first of all, I actually have a 6-year contract because I had a 5-year contract, but a while ago that was extended by a year, so I have a 6-year contract. And as you know, I set out long-term financial targets, and I did that in the beginning of 2018. And those targets are to be met at the end of 2023. As you know, we have a target of taking our net debt below 3 times EBITDA. We are firmly committed to that target. We also have a target of a 28% operating margin. We're also firmly committed to that, and also to the 80% cash earnings. So we are on track for this, and I think it's very, very likely that we'll meet these targets. And that's really sort of re-establishing the company as a company without a threat from debt and with a solid profit and loss, solid margins, and ready to grow into the future and eventually someday start not just paying a lot of money to the bondholders. We actually paid something like $16 billion over the last 4 years to the bondholders in interest rates and pay downs on debt. But of course, eventually we can start paying the shareholders, but it's just a couple of years more. So people have to be patient just for a few more years, just like I am.